Welcome to the Novel Network with Libby and Derek. Today we are joined by D.E. Carlson.
Hi.
We are talking books. You're an author. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. I forget what I was going to say. Go ahead, Derek. Take it away.
That's okay. No, I was going to say I was perusing your Amazon, seeing you've got 3 books to your name.
I have 3 out currently. Yes.
Okay. Cool. And it's all the same series.
Yes.
Ooh, I love
so,
series.
Do you want to tell our listeners a bit about you, kind of like a little mini bio, or talk about whatever, and talk about your books especially?
Absolutely. I would love to. And obviously the brain goes blank instantly when I'm asked to talk about myself and my books. Because it's not like that's all that I do or anything. But yeah, my name is D.E. Carlson as an author, but you can call me Dorothy because you're special. And I write young adult Christian fantasy romance. I know it's a mouthful, but it's all true. And my books are the Empire of Ashen Song series, and the last book in that series comes out in May.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How you feeling about that?
Terrified. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. Hey, if you didn't care about your books, and you weren't terrified, I'd be a little concerned myself.
Well, when you're writing a series, you make a lot of promises to the readers, in the first and second books, and making sure all those promises were fulfilled in some way in the third book, that was a task. I
believe it.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you've got like the whole, is this the end of the series?
This will be the end of this series, but I promised several spin-offs because my readers were not happy this was the end. So
That's fair. That's what I.
So you've warned everybody, this is the end of the main characters.
This is the end of one character. Yeah, basically her arc is coming to an end. This is her ending. It wouldn't make sense to press the story beyond that from her perspective. So
yeah, I was reading the synopsis of your first book. It's very, very intriguing.
Oh, thank you.
I love it. No, I like how you keep your synopsis very, I don't want to use the word short, but you're to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love. I've seen synopsis for books, and it's just kind of okay, is this the actual book I'm reading?
Mm-hmm.
Or the fact that they've basically almost given every little plot point.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But I love how you've done it in a way, even the first line, it just says, a powerful imposter, a land torn by war, their only hope, a child born in innocence, and Iris has killed him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, whoa. You look at ways to start a book, but ways to start a synopsis, I'm going, okay.
Right. The way that I look at that is there are places as an author where you want to lean into tropes, and there are places you don't. You don't want to lean into tropes in your book, but you want to lean into tropes in your marketing. And so, fill that blurb up with all the tropes, because that's how people decide if they're going to like your book. And you want people to read it who are going to like it. And also, if you tell the whole story in the blurb, you don't need the book anymore,
Yeah, exactly right.
I love the cover.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's a great cover too. That's true.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Who did your cover art?
Nicole Wells. She's very little known. I was frustrated in my cover hunt when I was going to release my debut, because nobody was designing covers like I wanted. And so I went and found a pre-made. I just scrolled Etsy till I found a pre-made. And it's not technically to market. I mean, that's not what anybody's making for my genre, but I liked it. So I was
But you can tell it's fantasy, though. I mean, you've got the dragon.
Because we put a dragon in it. There wasn't a dragon at first. And I was like, okay, I will buy this cover, but I need a dragon. She's like, done. Okay. No problem.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. How'd you find that process, though?
To know when there's dragons in it. I do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Me too.
How'd you find the process when you were starting out, though?
I'm sorry, what?
How'd you find the process when you were starting out?
How'd I find the process?
Looking for a cover artist.
Yeah.
Even just the beginning of your journey.
Well, with looking for a cover artist, I got some samples, basically just some mock-ups from the most popular cover producing companies. Did not like any of them. I asked for a silhouette on a backdrop of fire, and they gave me vines and a trellis and a title. I was like,
Okay.
I'm sorry, this is not what I asked for. And they're like, but this is to market. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm just smarter than the market. I'm just going to do what I want, you know? But yeah, I was so stubborn.
Well, when you have a vision, I mean, you kind of want that vision to come to fruition, right?
Mm-hmm. And actually, silhouettes are coming back into popularity right now.
Wondered that.
So, yeah.
You were ahead of the curve.
I was! Oh, and I was releasing a dragon novella right when Fourth Wing came out. And I didn't plan that at all. I like already wrote it and I didn't know Fourth Wing was a thing. And then I started advertising my dragon novella and everybody was like, oh, is it like Fourth Wing? I was like, I have no idea, but sure, it has dragons in it. So yeah,
Oh,
things worked out great.
But now you can go, hey, did you enjoy Fourth Wing? Try my novella.
I can, but like also it's not like Fourth Wing.
No,
Okay.
I have not read
At all.
Fourth Wing.
Me neither.
Okay. I have read it because I have to, because everybody's like, is your book like Fourth Wing? And I'm like, I don't know. So I had to read it. My books are not like Fourth Wing.
No.
Nope.
That's
I
okay.
have to. It's on my to be read because people are always talking about it and I have no idea what they're talking about.
Exactly. You got to know what
So
people are talking about.
Don't want to. It's when books get that big, I'm afraid to go into them because I've been let down so
Same
much.
here.
But I do need to read it because like everybody is talking about it, and I'm like, I want to read it for the education of knowing what people are talking about.
Exactly.
And
90%
every
of my
time I see
reading
Brandon
is for that
Sanderson-
now.
Yeah. Every time I see Brandon Sanderson, I'm just like, there's a lot of books there.
Yep.
Do I really want to start that? Like, that's a big commitment.
I brought home one book. I don't know what book it was. My daughter picked it up for me. It was one of his YA books. I don't know if they're all YA, but and I saved it from the library for like 2 months. I'm like, I'm gonna read it. And then I was like, I can't. There's too many.
It's intimidating.
What if I like it?
Yeah.
One word
like
at a
it,
time.
Yeah.
One word at a time is how you write a
Committed.
book, and it's how you read a book.
Yeah.
So.
But his books are pretty thick, I will say.
Yeah, I have
And then-
Way of Kings sitting here on my shelf, and
Oh, do you?
I haven't picked it up yet. It's just looking at me. It's just looking at me like, hello, I'm here. Everyone's talking about me. Pick me up.
Right. So I see something in your background there. Is that some of your marketing stuff? Is that a blanket with your book?
Oh yeah, there is a blanket with my cover on it, and then I found out that I didn't have permission to do that. So,
What?
Oopsie daisy. I didn't. My artist had not actually purchased that level of rights over the images, and she was like, So guess what? I was like, oh, I guess I should have checked my contract first. But anyway, so I can't sell them, but I can still snuggle in my one.
There you go. Sometimes you just need the book swag for yourself.
And I'm designing a new blanket that doesn't have my cover on it because I love blankets, and giveaways for in-person events are so incredibly lucrative. Like, people will stop to enter the giveaway.
I'm
can be
going to
like,
have
"By
to
the
pick your
way."
brain because like I'm doing my first ever local Comic-Con in May.
Oh.
So I will be talking to you later.
Okay.
Yeah. I need some tips.
Yeah. Stickers for sure. You're going to need stickers.
Yeah, I got those.
Postcards.
Yeah.
With like the QR codes on them for the audiobooks and the ebooks.
Right. Right.
Merch.
The merch.
Because it's fun.
I got to figure out how people are going to pay when they're there, unless they pay ahead of time through PayPal or something.
Venmo, if you put a QR code on something on your table from Venmo, then they can pay automatically just by scanning it, apparently. I haven't done it yet, but...
I'm in Canada, so I only get PayPal. Venmo actually isn't in Canada.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's not. So...
Okay.
Yeah, but...
Square?
Square, I could probably do Square. We do have one for our store, so I could probably just like borrow it for a day.
Yeah, that's what I did because I used that. It was super easy.
Yeah, that's probably the route I will go. So, but yeah, I'm totally new to it. I've only done like one vendor thing before, and it was such a small local thing. I still sold a book. I actually sold 2 books, but better than nothing. Yeah, it was total success. And it was so cute because the mother came in with her daughter, and her daughter was looking at Dino Rift, and she read like way above her grade. And she's reading the back, and she's like, I think I would read this book. And I'm like, okay, I'll get it for you. And I was like, do you mind if I get a picture with you? Because you're like my first ever sale at a vendor thing. She's like, yeah, of course.
Aww.
It's so cute. Yeah.
So So you write YA. Like you guys, I don't write YA. You guys both write YA.
Yeah.
What's the challenge? I want to know what the challenges with that are, if there are any.
Well, I've never written anything that wasn't YA. So for me, the challenge would be not writing that. It comes very naturally. That's all that I read as a teenager. I just packed it in. So my brain is wired for YA. Marketing YA is a different game, though, I will say.
Yeah.
Why is it like? Explain. I'm curious.
I'm pretty sure she would agree with me that there's YA for young readers for certain maturity. And then there's like, I write family friendly. And sometimes I have to stipulate that when I'm talking, these books are YA, but family friendly. Whereas, as Dorothy was saying, reading Fourth Wing, her book is probably not a lot like Fourth Wing. So.
No, yeah, it has to do with the spice levels. It has to do with making it very clear to the consumer exactly what you're marketing. And different people have different expectations when you say young adult. So
it's such a broad thing because young adult is technically what, 12 or 13 through 18?
Yes.
Yeah, and an 18-year-old can handle a lot of things that a 13-year-old probably can't. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I found that a challenge for myself because then people like you use certain words like, I could technically use the term clean for my books. And then some people come across and see that and they're going, what do you mean clean? Like some people actually get offended by the use of the word clean.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, so. People get riled up. They do. Yes. Yeah, and actually, to be honest, I don't, on the other side of it, I don't really like using the word clean either because it sounds kind of lame. Like, oh, you're saying that it's squeaky and, you're not going to cross any lines or have any high stakes or any danger or anything. I'm like, no, that's all in there. So that term doesn't really work for people either, So honestly, just having a lot of conversations with people is the best marketing, I think, because then you can be like, here are the things in my book. And even just like, what do you like first? Find out what they like. And then be like, oh, my book might not be for you, but hey, you should check out Derek because, he might write some books you would like and vice versa,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes whenever you get like a review or maybe someone that you've talked to in person being like, they loved your book or like their kid loved your book, I will use their testimonials when I talk to other people. Like, I think I said it in my interview with Libby a while ago was, I have parents that message me and they go, hey, thank you so much for writing books that I don't have to worry about what my kid's reading. Or they'll say, thanks for writing books that I can read with my kids and enjoy. Like I just had someone post earlier on TikTok today that she read Dino Rift with her son and they both loved it. She goes, even my son was trying to make the dinosaur noises in the book as we were reading. I'm like, this is awesome. But, that's so cool. Using those testimonials, those will, resonate with the people that are looking for that kind of book.
Do you ask permission before or... Because I struggle with that.
Yes and no. I think there are some things where I have, but there's times where, I'm pretty good friends with the person that maybe read the book and I know that I'll jump into some TikTok lives and I know there's one, her name's Lyra Blake. She's also an audiobook narrator and an author. And it's almost like every time I jump in, she's singing my praises. Like she goes, Derek is the number one reason why my 13-year-old son is reading again. And it's stuff like that. That's just like, not only does it touch my heart, but that's the kind of thing I would love to have in my marketing all the time.
Yeah. That's invaluable. The consumer feedback.
So. Yeah. I don't use a lot of that just because I'm never completely sure if I have permission. And so, I get messages from people almost daily talking about what they got out of my books. That would be amazing to share, but I also really value that personal connection with them, and I don't want them to ever feel used in any way. So I almost don't even ask, and I should probably ask because maybe they'd feel honored. But I don't know. I guess I just don't. I'm afraid of abusing the relationship, if that makes sense. I don't know.
I don't think that would be an issue. There's nothing wrong in asking, but the other thing I noticed was you have 141 5-star reviews on your first book. How many of those do you utilize in your marketing?
I occasionally I will share reviews. I don't know why, but I guess I'm so focused on the reviewer space being for readers and not for me that I don't go there very often. And so I don't think to share them very often, which again, I'm not utilizing a marketing tool that I could be. And those are public. So yeah. So people shouldn't mind too much.
Yeah, because I do that all the time. You know, if I have a new book coming out and I have my ARC readers that have already pre-ordered and they put the review up, I will take snippets from the reviews and say, look at what these early readers are saying about, you know, when it was Dino Rift or Soracor or now Primeval Ranch.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
I love
such a
doing
good
that.
idea.
Mm-hmm.
I stay off of my reviews.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I'm like, that's not my space.
And I have an instinct to be argumentative, and that is not healthy for that space. So
I check them like once every 6 months, maybe, just to see like how many I have, like if I've gotten more or not. But
I worry that one day I'll check and I will have dropped below into the 4-star because I'm clinging to that 5th star right now. And I don't want to lose it, but I know I'm going to eventually because the wider the pool of people get that read it, the more, you know, it's going to even out. Because the first people who read it were the people I selected to read it. And I was pretty sure they were going to like it based on the things that they had told me. And that's going to mellow over time. And I've accepted that. But also I'm scared for the day that I look.
You know what, though? With 220 global reviews on Amazon, and I don't see a single... Okay, so like 1% you have a 2-star, but you have no 1-stars.
Not on
3,
Amazon.
4, 5.
Yeah.
You're not a real author if you don't get a 1
Yeah.
star.
I have one on Goodreads. I have, but it's
Okay.
attacking. It's actually
You
attacking
pass.
me as a person, though.
Oh,
It's
but
the person didn't
there's
read the
trolls.
book, so
Yeah, I have a couple of those.
yeah, and that's okay. You know, you got to have some. If you're not making someone mad, you're probably not being out there.
That's true. Yeah. I had
Especially,
a 1-star, and he goes, the science was crap, but I'm just like, it's science fiction. Whatever. Move on.
I really need to read your books. I'm insanely curious about them, but so much of my reading is research in my own genre right now. I don't prioritize outside my own genre, but I'm insanely curious about your books.
The more we talk about them, the more I'm like, that's my next read.
I figured that the reason why I got the 1-star is because I do have a line in Dino Rift where they're trying to figure out, like, first of all, why the rifts are happening. And the one character goes, yeah, my dad, you know, he's also said, like, biblical analysis is not out of the window. Just to kind of, you know, like, there's people from all walks of life. There's all different theories, and, you know, you never know. So I just kind of wanted to show that there's both sides to things, you know?
Yeah. I can see that.
But
so, of all of the parts of being an author, what is your favorite part of being an author so far?
Writing books. I know that's cheating.
Letting the imagination flow, right?
No, that's a good idea. That's my favorite part.
Getting my dream validated. You know, like when it was just mine, I believed in it, but no one else necessarily did. Everybody was just waiting in my life to see, you know, okay, can she actually do this? She says she's doing this, but can she do this? It's very validating to be like, so I did it and it kind of worked, and you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it's scary too, because
where you were like, this is the validation.
I think I know when. Before I released anything officially, I released a prequel novella to my series to my newsletter subscribers as an incentive for signups. And when they voluntarily, without being asked, ran to Goodreads to talk about how much they loved the novella, that's when I realized, and also I didn't even put it on Goodreads. I don't know how it got there. It wasn't on Amazon. It wasn't anywhere. I don't know how it even got there. Somebody put it there for me. And the newsletter subscribers ran their talk about how much they loved it. And that's when I was like, okay,
that's
This
awesome.
is for real now. This is for
Love
real
that.
now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I'm a little too real now because now my mother-in-law has decided that it's time to read my books, and I'm like, oh, I regret everything. I regret everything.
Hey, she might love them.
Well,
At least
we'll see.
I mean, they're young adults and they're not spicy, so that's
No.
that's
Yeah,
good.
no. If they were spicy, my name would be Dirt. Oh.
Yeah, that's yeah. I think that okay. So my dad read my first book. He didn't get neither of my parents lived to like see it published, but my dad had read it, and now I'm kind of glad that my dad didn't get to fit it because there's like a lot of spice. Well, not a lot. There's a lot of I won't say spice, but like dirty talk in there, and a lot of torture. I write action thrillers.
Is he squirmish? Squeamish, I should say.
No, but that would just, I feel like that would be somewhat of an awkward conversation where like my
Yes.
favorite scene is like this hypersexualized torture thing happening with one of my characters. And I'm like, that would be a very awkward conversation to have with him about like, so what do you think about that scene, Dad? But
Well, my books do have a theme throughout them of demon possession and addressing demon possession, and I don't skate over it. And that's the one thing I will warn people. If people are like, I don't know if my kid's ready for this, I'll be like, okay, you need to know this is in here. And I address it, from my Christian perspective, but I also don't skate over the fact that demons are seductive and they will use whatever means they need to get, from a Christian perspective, that's what they do. And so that's something I will warn people about because they'll be blindsided. They'll be like, oh, it's clean and it's Christian fantasy and it's going to be great. Oh, well, okay. Oh, so we're talking like the Old Testament kind of biblical fantasy. Okay.
Right. It did happen back then.
Yeah. That's good though that you don't skate over it. That you like you decide that you're like diving in and not just looking from afar.
Yeah, there's nothing terribly fluffy about my books, but also the sunrise is beautiful, and there are happy things too. So
yeah, you got to have the balance.
Do you?
Well, because I think you said on your website, just talking about evil versus good. Like, there's always going to have to be that balance.
Yes, yeah, I think I did. I wrote that up a while ago, but I vaguely recall what I said. We've been having a lot of conversations over on Threads lately. I've been asking some questions about like how dark is too dark if you're a Christian writing fantasy. And it's been very interesting to see people's perspectives, but most people say they're really tired of the light and fluffy and they would really like to get into the nitty-gritty honesty. And so yeah,
there were some pretty dark things that even happened in the Bible. So
yeah, absolutely. There's also spice in the Bible. People get so mad when I say that. People get so mad.
Solomon was busy.
Oh, I should.
How many concubines was that?
Oh, yep.
So now that we know what your favorite part of writing is, what is your least favorite part of the entire publishing?
This is
like, what do you like? What is your least favorite of all of it?
Marketing is very time consuming. And it's also, I don't know. I'm a very different person when I'm marketing. And I don't like that. I would like to be more real, but the more real I am, the more of my deep energy I'm giving. And if I give too much of that, I haven't got that from my writing or from my family or, other very important things. I think that's probably a real struggle for me.
I think
like
it is for
authenticity.
The authenticity, I want to give my most real self, but also I have a limited supply of that per day. And I need some of that for other things. So it's difficult.
Yeah, that's such a good answer. I struggle with that because I'm like, I want to be myself, but half the time myself is like, I am a potato in a cocoon writing.
People love potatoes.
Like that's
They
who
really
I
do.
am. Like
I mean,
that's
me and pierogies,
that doesn't sell
we got a friendship.
books. Maybe it will. Maybe that'll be my new marketing thing over on Instagram. I'll just like me in a potato shape writing, and that's just all my posts. And we'll see how that goes.
I think a lot of people would relate to that.
Yeah.
I really think they would. Because I think a lot of people read like a potato too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, potato posts. That's gonna be.
It's not
that'll
great
be
for
my
our
new.
backs, but you know.
Oh my god, so bad.
Writing in general, I think, is bad for our backs, though. So
Yes, I'm like I cannot write on my bed because I end up like like by the
Slouching.
end of
mhm.
that's it. Just I make myself sit in the most uncomfortable chair, so I have to have good posture.
That's
I
smart.
actually had to buy myself it's like a little triangle thing just to raise my laptop up a little bit, or else I find myself constantly doing this. And I have to like remind myself,
Okay,
yeah, pull your head back a little bit more.
okay, Derek, you can zoom in. I do that. I'm like this at work,
No,
and then
yeah,
like
I know you
my
can zoom.
coworkers come in, and she's like, "You can zoom." I was like, "Shut up."
I'm just thinking, like, usually I've got my manuscripts. What do I usually keep them at? On Microsoft Word, I'm usually around like a little over 200%
Yeah,
zoom. So I've still got pages on the one side, and then I've got the thesaurus on the right hand side.
it's like
So I didn't think it's too bad. But
yeah. Do you have a writing space, Dorothy?
I have like 5 writing spaces, and I go to the one that suits my mood. So if I'm like really energetic about writing and goal driven, I'm at my desk. But if I'm like, I just don't know, then I'm in that chair back there. But if I'm really like having to trick my brain into writing, I'm in my rocking chair because my brain thinks my rocking chair is neutral space because that's where I sit when I'm doing nothing. So if I sit there and I'm just like, grab my laptop, but don't worry, I'm not doing anything. And then just like kind of looking at it, but not doing anything. And then I start writing. And then 2 hours later, I'm like, yay, I did it.
I love that.
that does look like a comfy chair behind you, though.
It is. It is the comfiest chair in the world.
It looks like a recliner.
Yeah, it reclines.
Perfect.
You can put your feet up. It does all the things.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, what kind of projects do you have lined up for the future? I know you mentioned spin-offs. Are you doing anything outside of that world?
I've also joined an anthology, so I'm writing a fairy tale retelling, and I love fairy tale retellings, so long as they're a little dark, because if it's fluffy, then it's like I might as well just go read the fairy tale, honestly. So I need it to be like twisty and dark, and so that's what I'm doing. But it is for a Christian anthology, so I might have to go through and lighten it up a little bit when I'm done. But depending on what they want, because they weren't very clear, so I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna do it my way. See what you think.
Gotcha. Is this your first anthology?
Yes, and I'm excited.
Okay.
I don't want to mess it up.
I've never done one before.
Me neither. I don't know that I could. Don't know that
How
I
did
could.
you like? Did someone approach you, or was there kind of like a
I
sign up?
saw a post in a Facebook
Oh,
group,
okay.
and I signed up. Yep.
You're like, let's try something new.
Yeah, well, and I have a friend who did one, and it ended up being really beneficial for her marketing wise. So I wanted to try it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, do you get? Is it a paid anthology? Like, how does that work?
So for the first 2 years, there are shared royalties. And then after that, I can republish it on my own if I want to.
Oh, that's
That's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Is that normally how anthologies are done?
I
no
do
idea.
not know because I this is my first one, so
Yeah, okay.
don't know.
I don't know why I asked the question.
Yeah. That wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many are in it? Authors?
I don't know for sure. I know that there are several groupings of anthologies being done, and I think that it's myself and 4 other authors who are doing fairy tale retellings, and then there are other groupings as well. So
did you kind of have to get together and be like, okay, I'm doing this fairy tale, you're doing that one?
It was first come, first serve. So if you picked one that somebody else
Okay.
had already claimed, then you were out of luck. But I got my first choice. So
Nice.
I'm
Which one were you hoping
redoing,
for?
huh?
Which one were you hoping for?
The Princess and the Frog.
Okay.
Yeah. But we're gonna do dark, twisty, enchanted forest, evil enchanter,
Ooh.
obsessed with young girl. Not like young girl, gross. But like what I meant is like young woman type thing. And then she has to
Yeah.
outsmart him, and yeah. It's a whole
Oh, so
thing.
the frog is evil.
Not exactly, but if I give that away, I'm giving the
Okay.
whole
Yeah,
thing
no
away.
spoilers.
You don't know who the frog really is till the very, very end.
Oh, snap. It's actually a toad. No. It's not a frog the whole time. It was a toad.
That would be a disappointing reveal.
I like
That's just the way my
anthologies
brain works.
because they're short. Like I like the short stories of them. I've read a couple, and I'm like, this is nice. This is easy. Like, tricks me into reading.
Yeah.
I don't read enough at all.
So how long of a book do you have to write for the anthology?
It's 20 to 25,000 words. So I'm over halfway done drafting it.
That's
Yeah,
not
it's
bad
easy.
at all.
Short and easy. Yeah.
How are you finding the process for that? Like, did you have to change your writing style at all? Like maybe even shorter chapters?
No, I kind of just, when I'm writing something shorter, I lean on tropes more because you don't have very much space to tell a story. So if the reader recognizes what it is quickly, you can get it accomplished in less space. So that's really the only change that I make. I just lean heavier on tropes, and I choose what tropes I would like to include ahead of time. Whereas when I'm drafting something very long, I don't. I just draft and I let the characters and their growth develop into tropes. But when I'm writing something short, then I just pick the tropes ahead of time and make them happen.
Okay.
Nice.
So what was kind of the starting point for you though? Like, did you write when you were young and then just kept up with it over the years?
Yes. Before I could write, I told my sister stories to put her to sleep. And when I could write, I started scribbling things down. And when I could spell, I started scribbling longer things down. And I think I wrote my first novel when I was 12. But that one won't see the light of day because it was a Disney movie retelling. So that would not be publishable. And I wrote a lot of things.
Yeah, the commitment
I wrote,
to do that though.
What was that?
The commitment to do that at 12? Like,
Yeah.
I wanted it pretty bad. Also, I was homeschooled. And if I was at my desk, mom was happy. Like I was doing school if I was at my desk. But I was writing like 90% of the time.
Can she really get mad at you though?
Well, I don't think she's mad anymore because I turned it into a career. So
There you go.
clearly my education worked.
Yep.
Even though it wasn't a math education or a science education. But
when you published your first book, did you just kind of give it to her and be like, you helped with this?
Kind of, but she was also disappointed with me there too because I wanted to hand her the polished, finished product and I didn't want her to see it before that. And then I found out later that she was all miffed because I wasn't sharing the process with her and letting her be a part of drafting and editing and everything. And I had to explain to her, no, you are the person I needed to make proud in my life. I needed to give you the finished product. And then she got teary-eyed and it was all fine. So.
No, I love that.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh my gosh. Hold on.
Speaking of light and fluffy, like earlier, Libby always has an issue with light at some point in her morning.
Oh no.
Coming in her room.
Sorry. The morning sun is like coming through the...
I just still find it fun that this is like Libby's AM.
Yeah.
This is our PM, Dorothy.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, it's dark outside here. Saturday
morning, bright and sunny.
Yeah. So I also read that you're in, it's Dakota, right?
I'm in the Dakotas. Yeah, that's about as specific as I usually get. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you put anything from your, like where you live also in your books or any, people in your life? sometimes we always write what we know. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say the landscape of where I live really made it into, especially book one, where the group of people travel across kind of a plains with low buttes, which is where I live. I live in the buttes, which is basically hills with flat tops. It's very dramatic. It's a very beautiful landscape. It's a little bit barren. Things don't grow as well here as some other places, and we're prone to droughts. So it's a harsher lifestyle, and a tougher breed of people live here than in a lot of other places, because the people who stayed here, who made it, they had to be very tough. They had to dig in real deep to make it through those years. And so I think I put that toughness into a lot of my characters as well, and that just gritty, I'm going to stay right where I'm planted and nothing moves me attitude, especially in the older, like the peers to the young adults in the story, the men and women who guide their journeys and stuff.
Yeah, and you must be pretty tough, because I also read that you're basically homesteading.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, we do grocery runs every couple of months, but otherwise, yes, we live off the land as much as possible.
Okay.
That's awesome.
And how's everybody else in your family life when it comes to your books? Like, everyone's supportive?
They're supportive. My children, they know that
Always
I'll
want to
say
be
yes
in
to
your books,
anything.
right?
They know that I'll say yes to anything when I'm drafting, because I don't want to deviate my brain attention from my draft.
Yep.
So if they come in and say something, I'm gonna be like, yeah, whatever. And so they get away with a lot of things.
I love that.
But I think they're proud of their mom. I think they're confused that other moms don't write books.
Oh.
And my husband is very supportive. When he realized that I was doing this for real, he wanted to take over. And he wanted to sell my books to every neighbor and every friend and everybody.
Yep.
And yeah, it was cute to watch him be like, oh, my wife actually did this. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was kind of cute.
Oh, that's awesome. Does he hand out your cards to people?
He hands out my books to people.
Yeah?
Like,
that's
awesome.
my dear sweet husband, I don't think the 80-year-old man sitting in the farm and home supply chatting with his buddies wants to read a young adult Christian fantasy romance book. But thank you for that.
So wait, does he have like a pitch that he gives people about your books?
Yeah, he does. Yep. This book is awesome and you should read it.
That's
the pitch.
Yeah, that's a great
that's all
pitch.
you need, really.
Like, I'm gonna steal it.
Yeah. Feel free.
It's simple. It's to the point.
Oh my goodness.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's not too often you see family members and even a spouse that is like, "You're doing this. I'm proud of you. I want to help you. Shout it from the rooftops."
Yes. Yeah. He's an amazing person. And now I've said that on this podcast, so he gets to listen to it and feel all warm and fuzzy.
There you go. Would he ever write with you?
He has tried. He's written a few things.
Yeah.
I don't think that he'll write with me. I don't know. I've never asked him if he would want to write with me.
Because I find usually it takes a creative to understand another creative. Very
true. And he convinced me to marry him with love letters, like sent by snail mail. So he definitely can write, and he can be very poetic. Breed. Yes, so he is. Well, we were both homeschooled, so we're both the same kind of weird. It works.
That's okay. Yeah, weird makes the world go round.
I like that.
It really does.
I love that. So, I had a question and I just instantly forgot it.
Sorry,
it's very early over here. Dang it. Oh, okay. Where do you get your inspiration for your characters? Is it from people in your life? Is it just where do you pull inspiration from? Or where does it come to you from?
Some of it's people in my life. Some of it's beloved characters from old books that I've read from a long time ago. Just pulling different concepts that I really enjoyed. Enemies to Lovers is something I'm always going to go back to, and that's a type of character typically. And Grumpy Sunshine, again, a type of character. But I will say my main character from my main series was strongly inspired by my sister. And it's actually, To Bind Fire started out as a study on my sister because she's a self-proclaimed introvert. And I struggled to understand her our entire growing up because I'm more extroverted, at least, than she is by quite a lot. And I thought she must be unhappy if she wasn't, the center of attention and interacting with people. And so I was always trying to get her to want to be the center of attention and trying to make her happy by getting her attention and drawing her into things with me. And when I became an adult, I realized, oh, it's just a personality type. She's not unhappy. And I wanted to study that. So I decided I'm going to write a book and the main character is going to be an introvert. And I'm going to try to learn how an introvert thinks. And it's interesting that ended up being the book that I finished and that was good enough to publish. And I think maybe writing myself isn't where I needed to start. Writing somebody different than me is where I needed to start.
Has she read the book?
Yeah, and she says I did a good job.
Oh, awesome. It's one thing to write it and then to actually have someone read it and go, hey, like you hit this, nail on the head.
Yeah, she says there's a good rep for introverts.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's also very validating, talking about validation earlier, because like I know even for myself, writing a teenage girl in Dino Rift, like obviously I am not a teenage girl. And I had some people go, hey, you did a really good job. I'm like, really?
That's awesome.
I don't know what that says about my book because I write about crazy people.
Nah.
Like, you did a great job.
Assassins. Libby, have you killed someone? Tortured someone?
That's off the record.
Yeah, classified. So if you weren't writing fantasy, what else would you be writing?
If I weren't writing fantasy, either dystopian or sci-fi.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a huge Trekkie. Still am a huge Trekkie.
Okay.
Always will be. So I would write sci-fi in a heartbeat. And I also love dystopian because, I don't know, it's the world we live in.
Yeah. Facts.
Now, are you like old style Star Trek or the newer movies and shows?
I was fed a healthy diet of Next Gen when I was a young person. It was my way of connecting with my dad. So it really brings the warm, fuzzy, safe vibes to watch that. But when he saw how much I loved it, he said, no, we got to go back to the beginning. We got to go back to it. So then he wanted to get me into that. And then he got me into the old movies. And then he got me into the newer movies. Now, as to the newest movies, he's not the biggest fan. So obviously I'm not either because, solidarity and stuff. But if it's Star Trek, I'll watch it. Although, well, no, we won't go there. Never mind.
So more Star Trek, not Star Wars.
Star Wars?
I'm just saying you're more Star Trek than Star Wars.
Star Trek has my heart, but Star Wars has my admiration.
Oh, okay. Now,
because honestly, Star Wars, the style of storytelling is more my vibe. But Star Trek was willing to explore things that society was barely ready for, and always has been. And I love that.
That's true. That's definitely true. Now, how do you feel about Firefly?
I tried it, and I'm ashamed to say I didn't get into it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay. To each their own. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, she's breaking out the marketing blanket.
I'm cold.
Yeah.
It's cold in the
What's the temperature there?
It's rapidly dropping. We were in the 40s today, and it's supposed to be a high of 1 degree tomorrow. So it's changing really fast right now. And we do wood heat. We use wood heat, but I haven't been into the living room to put the wood on, so it's getting cold in here.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, when you say homestead, you're homesteading.
For real.
Love it.
I can't complain about my cold. Our cold is like 50 degrees.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, if you're not used to it, I can see. If you're not used to it,
Yeah. I grew up I grew up in Connecticut, so like I know cold. Like we had a lot of snow and blizzards and like, but I haven't been there in almost 20 years. Well, I've been to visit. I haven't lived there in like 20 years. So
Well,
I've
when you come to
adapted
Canada, come in the winter.
no, I'm good.
Immediately
I'll be
says no.
visiting you in the summer.
Me and Michael just be like, come on, Libby, the winter's fine.
Yeah, no. I'll be bundled up like an Eskimo. Like
Yeah, it's perfect. We'll have a snowball fight.
I do love a good snowball fight. I do.
Yeah.
Building snowmen. I do miss
But
that.
that only works if it's warm enough out, though. Like
Yeah,
around
exactly.
here, it's usually too cold. Like the snow goes crunch. And you can't build snowmen out of that.
No. You could break something out of that for sure.
The sound of walking in really cold snow kind of grates on me. I don't know.
It's
I
creepy.
find that nostalgic, though.
It's nostalgic too, yeah.
Whether there's like, my wife loves when it's like the leaves are falling off the trees and then the leaves are on the ground for a while and they turn crunchy.
I love
loves
that.
stepping on those leaves.
Yes. As a kid, it was my job to like rake all the leaves in the yard, and we'd rake them all and put them in a big pile, and then you jump into it. That was my favorite memory. I would consistently get like leaf stems up my nose and get bloody noses. It's like,
no.
It would be a huge pile that was bigger than you, and then you stand on like the car or whatever, and you jump into it, and then like you get all scratched up. But it was. I don't
when
know.
you say you were
I've never
jumping
had
into
that
leaf
happen.
piles, you were really
like-
jumping into leaf piles.
Full force jump into leaf piles.
Hardcore.
Yeah, I miss that. I miss the changing of the leaves. That's my favorite part of this.
I was hoping you'd clarify because I didn't want you to say I miss getting leaf stems up my nose.
No. I do not miss that. I have like a very visceral memory of it. Like I could feel it in my eyeball.
oh man. Yeah, you're a kid. You know, kids do stuff.
It was dumb.
Oh.
So, all right. So I know we have to wrap up soon. What is something that you would like our listeners to know about you that you may not get to talk about very often? Because you're so, like, we're branded. Like, we have our brands and stuff that we kind of stick to. So outside of that, what would you love people to know about you?
I have a resident dragon. It's actually a cat. It's a black cat with golden eyes. And she keeps me in line.
Ooh.
And I don't talk about that much, but I should.
Keeps you in line, but how?
Okay. You want to know? All right, I'm going to tell you.
I have a cat, so.
She has a schedule in her head. She knows when I should be going to bed. She knows when I should be brushing my teeth. She knows when we should be eating supper. She knows when I should be sitting in my chair reading. And if I'm not where I'm supposed to be, she will find me and she will scamper around the room meowing and staring at me with her massive golden eyes till I get up and go where I'm supposed to go. And then she'll lead me to that spot in my house where I'm supposed to go. And then she will watch me to make sure I stay there for as long as I'm supposed to be there. She tucks me in at night.
Aww.
So when we turn off the light, she sits and stares at us for a little bit to make sure we're down. And then she goes off and has her party in the house. But if I get up to go to the bathroom in the night, she will find me and she will escort me and she will take me back to bed again.
Really?
She keeps me in line.
How long have you had this cat?
A year and a half. Not long, actually.
It's that trained?
She's obsessive.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Amazing.
I need that.
So she wakes you up in the morning too?
If I sleep in enough, she will wake me up.
Okay.
By sitting on my face.
My cat, she comes in at like 5 a.m. and has to lick my wife's face. She does. She literally does. And it's like my wife either has to push her off the bed or push her down or just let her go under the covers. And then she just curls up between us under the covers in the bed until about 7 o'clock is when we actually wake up. And then that's when Libby comes out. She goes on top of my wife and she begins to lick and aggressively nibble on my wife's chin.
That's
Which, yeah, I mean, it's cute, but it does hurt.
Did you say that your cat's name is Libby?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I heard right.
Yeah. Which I still say is weird.
The whole thing.
It's like, I think today, this interview is the first time I've actually called Libby Weber Lib. which I normally say that to my cat.
That's so
Like Lib,
funny.
it's either Lib or Liberson, even though she's female.
Uh,
Yeah. Cats are fun, though. I love cats. I had dogs
Okay.
growing up my entire life. Never had a cat before. Now that I do, I'm like, how did I ever live without a cat?
I miss my cat. What's really weird is after owning a cat for like, I think we had him for like 10 years. When a dog licks me, I'm like, you are
Oh.
disgusting. Get your nasty, slimy tongue off of me. Like, don't. Like, his cat like licks are like scratchy and dry, and
Yeah.
like, I hate when dogs lick me. I'm like, don't. You're not it. Get me a cat.
I actually had a baby cougar lick me one time.
Really?
Yeah. So there's where I live in Ontario. There's actually used to be a zoo up north where my aunt and uncle live, and he had all these big cats. Like he had lions, tigers. Actually, had a couple bears. Oh my.
Thank you for finishing that.
I had
Thank
to.
you.
But he actually had someone bring him a cougar cub that I think had been separated from its mother. So he cared for it for as long as he had it. And the one time we went to go see family, we went to go see him and all his animals again. And I got to hang out with a baby cougar for like 2 hours.
That's so
It was so cute and cuddly, and it's like it still had the little spots on it that hadn't quite left yet. And yeah, it was such a cool experience. Yeah, I love animals. Animals, like I had a bearded dragon for a pet for 11 years, and I still have some people that go, "Why would you have a lizard as a pet?" I'm like, "Why not? It's the closest thing I'll get to a dinosaur."
Or a dragon, in my
Yeah.
case.
Exactly. Yeah,
We have a hedgehog,
love that. What's his name?
Sammy.
Sammy.
Sammy the Hedgehog.
Nice.
Sammy the hedgehog. It's very
Nice.
spiky, and I can't pick it up because he spikes out a lot. He's very skittish, but
That's okay. You feed him the little mealworms.
yeah, he's adorable.
Yeah.
Big
Nice.
little eyes. All right. So, DE, where can everyone find you? Like, best places to
Well,
find you.
I was on TikTok until today. Thank you. So now I am on Instagram and Facebook, and my website is decarlsonauthor.com. Easy to find. My books are on Amazon. They're also on KU. And I am running a Kickstarter for the release of the final book in this trilogy. And we are going to be doing all the things. We're going to be doing case laminate underneath the dust jacket for pretty art. We are going to be doing sprayed edges that I actually do myself with help of some friends. So they will
Hey.
all be handmade. We will be doing 2 new character art pieces, which will be vellum inserts in the books. And everything is going to be commissioned art from artists, and it's going to be a huge deal. So if you want to find the Kickstarter, Empire of Ash and Song Kickstarter, or if you search my author name or any of my book titles, it should all come up. And the pre-launch page is up, so you can follow that right now.
When does that launch?
That launches in March.
Cool.
Yep,
You got
and
a
it
lot going
should,
on.
everybody should get their copies before the official release date of the book to the world. So it should be, so long as my printer prints quickly enough, it should be a pre-release Kickstarter.
Nice.
Love that. Cool. Yeah, you got a lot going on. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
You're not stressed out?
A little bit. I actually outsourced the organization of the Kickstarter because last time I ran one, I learned my limits, and that's my limit. So I'm a lot more sane this time around than I was.
That's
Very
smart.
good. Yeah.
That's smart.
Yep. And if you're thinking about running a Kickstarter and you need help, I'm going to shamelessly plug the person who's helping me because she's amazing. Sandpiper Inc. on Facebook. She does an incredible job, and she does not charge an arm and a leg.
Oh, that's good.
I'm writing that down. I can't run a Kickstarter from Japan, but
Really?
well, because you have to do a lot of it yourself, and international shipping is very expensive, and
Right. That makes sense.
yeah, it just doesn't work,
Yeah. You can see that.
which is sad. But I like supporting everybody else's Kickstarters. So,
Very
thank you for hanging out with us. It's been awesome.
You've
Thank
done
you for
interviews
having
before,
me.
right?
Have I done interviews before? Yes,
Yeah.
I have, but I
Okay.
haven't done a podcast interview before. I've
Well,
done
your
lots
first
of
one.
I've done lots of lives and stuff, but yeah, I was a little anxious because I was like, okay, this is new.
Yeah.
It's fun though. It's nice and easy, and we keep it. I like it better because I don't know.
It's
We have
relaxed.
it.
We get to just kind of,
Yeah.
as much as we're asking you questions, we get to just kind of kick back and be like, hey, we're just a bunch of weird authors hanging out and becoming more buddies,
Yeah, it was really fun. You guys made this really, really fun. So thank you so much for having me.
Hope so.
You're welcome.
You
All right,
have to
guys.
deal with my silly humor. That's the only thing.
I love it. That's why I hired him.
You are not a problem.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.